Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and let's talk about Merman. I know, random conversation, but I saw this video pop up on social media. I just was watching it, and it was about people. It was about guys who like mermen and stuff like that, and how why the world isn't open to mermen as much as they are to mermaids. And it got me thinking. There's a quite obvious reason to why people prefer mermaids over mermen. Not that I'm not saying that mermen couldn't exist because mermaids have to exist too. Is that me seeing if you look at hashtag mermaids, if you look at mermaid, or if you look at hashtag mermans or mermen, you will see the over sexualization of men, the mermen, right? And with mermaids are performers because there are people who actually do turn into mermaids and perform or whatever, but the audience for that is mostly children. You get what I'm saying? It's mostly children, not adults. You get what I'm saying? So the reason why you don't see a lot of merman performances a lot, or the reason why the world kind of isn't open to it, is because people don't really feel comfortable with having a male perform for their children. We're at a time where men do some stuff. You know, I'm not saying women don't do neither nothing either, but when you leave your children, you would rather leave a child with a woman before you leave it with a man. You hear what I'm saying? And when you're performing, water tricks or whatever, if you're not like a Olympic swimmer or some kind of performer that's performing with animals or whatever, it's really hard to kind of look at your performance as a merman and be like, yeah, that's really cool. You get what I'm saying? Because for kids, they want to see this glow. Like you need to be a constant Disney princess, if that makes sense in the literal sense of like when people see Ariel, anybody who performed as Ariel, she has this light about her, whether she's in her human form or in her mermaid form, and people prefer her in her mermaid form. That's why Disney made so many versions of Ariel. Not the black one, not the black one. We're not talking about the black shit, but we're talking about like in general Ariel herself. There's so many different forms of her tail and so many different ways that Disney has made Ariel herself, commercialized for kids to the point where girls and guys alike love Ariel. That's why everybody was a little teed off with the changes that Disney made to Ariel. Um, but when it comes to a male mermaid, you ain't gonna get that light that a woman can bring. Does that make sense? A woman's light and a man's light is completely two different things. You get what I mean? And that's not me shaming the male performer, the male mermaid, or whatever. It's just that we have to think about like if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you need to be able to perform for children. And another thing too, you can get mad at a wall, you can say sexist, whatever. But I'm just going to be honest. A lot of people, a lot of men who are obsessed with mermen, are damn near 90% gay. I haven't seen a straight male performer who is a merman because, again, if you look at the hashtags, if you look at the hashtags, there's a lot of fan art of mermen, but they're mostly with other guys. It is guy on guy all the time, 24/7. It's barely any females. It's barely guy and female. It's barely any heterosexual merman and mermaid. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there aren't, but compared to what you see when you type in merman, you're not gonna find it. So right there is the issue there. Like you can't expect people to want to see that when they type in merman, that's what they're seeing. That's the first thing they're seeing. They're not seeing a guy and a girl performer. You get what I'm saying? Or they're not seeing artwork of a male mermaid and a female human companion or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That would be really cool. Or a mermaid and a merman. You don't hardly see that. You see a guy and a merman, or you see two mermen together all the time. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you want people to, have an open mind to it, you got to understand how the world works. You get what I'm saying? Like this is more for like it teeters more on the adult area too, because especially when you do see male performers who are mermen, yeah, you guys are fine, but you guys don't have that quality of performing like a female does, like um Olympic or Olympic swimmer, if that makes sense. You don't feel charming. You don't feel like a light, a warmth or anything. You kind of feel a little sexual, or it feels like you're a guy that's just trying to play fantasy instead of like making people believe that, oh my God, merman. You know what I'm saying? People don't believe in merman, they believe in mermaids. You know what I'm saying? More so than mermen. And again, yes, I understand you want people to open up their minds and open up their hearts, but with the examples that I'm talking about, it's not going to happen. And then I remember seeing a part of a show where it's this guy he loves mermaid and he got rejected, and the people in the comment section was like, oh, they're just jealous or they're homophobic. No, they're not homophobic, they're not jealous. They said that he performed very well, but you have to remember they're performing for children. In order for the parents to bring their kids to see this, they need to see him where he looks like he can be friendly with the children. You know what I'm saying? As much as you want to perform as a merman or whatever, the audience for mermaids is mostly children. Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest. You can get mad at a rock, you can get mad all you want to and say, "Oh, there's some adults." Yes, there are some adults, but for the most part, it is still mostly children. You know what I'm saying? If I had kids, they gonna want to go see a mermaid before they want to go see a merman. Does that make sense? And again, that's not really a hatred towards it. It's just that it's not as common as you think. And again, if you're trying to change the narrative, you kind of have to accommodate to societal's whims. Nobody's saying that you gotta, box yourself in, but you gotta be a little bit creative while being inside that box. You know what I'm saying? Think outside of it, but within that box. Does that make sense? You want to you want to be somebody who like kids will want to run up and hug if that makes sense. And the Disney princes work because of how charming they look and how they dress them or whatever. And then we don't really see them as often as the princesses, but the way Disney has worked those characters, they made it where children want to run up and hug them or whatever. And as when I see mermen, you don't want to run up to a guy in a mermaid tail and hug them. You'll want to run up to a woman who's with a mermaid tail because it feels more friendly, it feels more warmth. You get what I mean? If you want it to change, y'all got to kind of change the narrative. You get what I'm saying? Because think about it, if a normal parent types in merman, right, and on the internet they're flooded with guy on guy stuff. No, sorry about that. They're not going to want their children to be around it. So that's just a future thought. I know it's kind of weird that I'm kind of like just saying it, just making a video about this, but I just find it interesting conversational topic, and I just kind of wanted to throw my little piece in there without trying to attack anybody per se. I'm just saying like as far as like this is why I believe people aren't really hipped on mermen. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, everybody.